think it is at COP26. We want them to join in an alliance with other countries. There's an alliance called Beyond Oil and Gas Alliance that is starting at Denmark. It means access to fossil fuels. We're transitioning and we're phasing off gas, we're phasing off oil. That is a huge change for our society. We've got to all together to make it happen. So I'm pleased tonight we're going to have very brief speeches, and we're going to have a couple of songs, and then we're going to walk over to Mr. Phelan's office. We're making a statement to Mr. Phelan. Please take the leadership, keep 1.5 alive. So we invite our musicians to start us off with a song. Thank you. Yes, thank you. Yeah. So it's Cassie Norton and Leslie Solomonian. So just give them a good welcome, okay?
Oh, it's on. Okay. I'm trying this because it's hard to use a microphone when playing violin. Yeah. Can you
turn it down just a little if you want?
Can someone help? Just shine it. Okay. Here we go. All right. Thank you. So yeah, you can. Okay. Okay. So. I just wanted to start with. I'm going in and out here. I just want to start with the lead. I use this microphone.
Which microphone is that one? Yes, it looks like one.
Would that be microphone number 1 you're changing to?
It looks like it's in one.
Yeah.
Number 1.
Yeah, okay. Well, I can see that. That's so hard. Okay. Yeah. We must go.
Let's see.
We are so blessed and fortunate to be holding this vigil on the traditional territory of the Anishinaabe, the Haudenosaunee, Wendat, land acknowledgements that we give it often in our community and our society tend to be quite rote. And it's so incredibly important that we meaningfully acknowledge the land on which we stand, because it is Indigenous ways of knowing and Indigenous practices that we need to heed, that we need to humble ourselves, to listen and to learn, if we have any chance of mitigating the worst of this ecological disaster. So I make this acknowledgement in as much humility as I can muster, and I hope that we all can do the same. I'm very grateful to be here. Thank you.
Okay, so let's start with a song that's called Water's Falling, and I think it's kind of about how the water kind of takes care of itself. And I'm gonna teach you guys the words because they're really simple, and I hope that you can sing along with me. So, oh, the water's falling. Oh, the water calls. Those are the words, the chorus. So, oh, the water's falling. Oh, the water calls. Oh, the water's falling. Oh, the water calls. take it all away. I say, oh, the water's falling. Oh, the water falls. Oh, the water's falling. Oh, the water falls. Oh, well, inside you is the salty sea. Yeah, this all lands inside of me. And in the rain, you can hear me sing. Oh, I remember everything I said. Oh, the water's falling. Oh, the water falls. Oh, the water's falling. Oh, the water falls. But don't you think I will do no harm? Yeah, I got the wind and the rain and the sea. I got everything inside of me. I said, oh, the water's falling. Oh, the water crawls. I said, oh, the water's falling. Oh, the water crawls. I said, oh, the water's falling. Oh, the water crawls. I said, oh, the water's falling. Oh, the water crawls. Okay, so the next one is a little lighter. It's more about the earth, and the lyrics are: "The earth is our home, but it's never been anyone's to own." And I'm going to get you to repeat the chorus because I think it's a good thing to have inside you. We're not alone. We share our home. With all the animals, the plants, and the trees. We need them all. From big to small. To fill our skies, our land, and our seas. It's a lot. Okay, so we don't have a ukulele that's very audible, but okay. You got to turn this one up quite a bit, the microphone. Yeah. Okay, we're audible. Okay, good. It's our home, but it's never been anyone's to own. We're not alone, we share our home with all the animals, the plants, and the trees. We need them all, from big to small, to fill our skies, our land, and our seas. Peace pollinate to the plants that grow, the food we eat from the seeds we sow. Trees dry waste into their leaves and turn it into the air we breathe. Down in the depths, the coral reefs protect the coast from the storms at sea. Up in the sky, the birds spread seeds that grow into the trees we need to breathe. We're not alone, we share with all the animals, the plants, and the trees. We need them all, from big to small, to fill our skies, our land, and our seas. We're not alone, we share our home with all the animals, the plants, and the trees. We need them all, from big to small, to fill our skies, our land, and our seas. Each species has the thing it does. We need, but we don't know because the web is wide. When you look inside, there are connections hidden to the eye. Our home has never been anyone's to own. We're not alone. We share our home with all the animals, the plants, and the trees. We need them all, from big to small, to fill our skies, our land, and our seas. We're not alone, we share our home with all the animals, the plants, and the trees. We need them all, from big to small, to fill our skies, our land, and our seas. The earth, it is our home, but it's never been anyone's to own. Thank you.
Let's hear it for Cassie and Leslie. Thank you so much. Okay, so I'm here to say that we'll have two short and then we're going to walk over to Christopher Phelan's office, which is very close, 344 Street West. With our candles, we're just going to walk past. We're going to take a picture right there with some of our signs. We can carry signs and candles, and to make our point that we need to keep 1.5 alive. So I also want people to know that on Saturday at 1 o'clock at Queen's Park is going to be a big rally. Let's make it a giant rally. It's going to be part of the global day of action around the world and in Glasgow. So everybody come out for that. And there's flyers going around for that. And also on Sunday there's a webinar, flyers going around for that. And a little postcard showing the record of COPs and the results between the goals of COP, what actually happens. It's a big problem. So that's why we said that it can be active. So I'm very pleased right now to introduce Allie Rougeot. She's been active with Fridays for Future since the very beginning here in Toronto. She's a graduate in public policy, and she is working now with environmental events. Let's give Allie a really big welcome, okay? Thanks, folks.
Okay, testing. Can you hear me? I have a really loud voice. Just do this with that. Good evening, everyone. My name is Adina, or Allie. I organize with Fridays for Future Toronto, which is the movement here in Toronto that's been organizing the youth climate strikes, the big rallies that some of you have participated in. I'm here tonight, and I'm really doing this as an intergenerational gathering. I'm here tonight to recognize that for the past 2 years, youth especially have been getting out of school and getting out of work and really sacrificing a lot of their best years, their innocent years, to ask that they have a chance to a safe future. And they've been totally disregarded. And then we also know that older generations, many of you were part of the movements before us, that were also demanding for climate justice. Way before I was even born, they were also ignored. They were lied to. They were totally thrown out of the political process. And I know before even Indigenous people on this land, since the very first settlers arrived, they were advocating for environmental stewardship. They were saying we have to keep this place as it is. We have to keep this ecosystem functioning as a whole. They were also ignored, but they were also criminalized for that. They were killed for that, and they continue to be. And so in this gathering today, I think more than acknowledging the future loss that we will experience if we don't say on the fly, we have to also acknowledge the huge loss that's been happening over the decades. Loss of people, loss of time, loss of energy for us all fighting just for the right to live. Today we're demanding very simple things. We're demanding that those who are in power, those who asked to be our leaders, who wanted to represent us, we ask that they represent our concerns. And we ask that those who are supposed to work for us do that. Keep us safe. Keep us safe when you're in Glasgow negotiating and when you're here. Minister Freeland over there is going to make big spending decisions. She has to spend in a way that is safe for us. I hope to see many of you on Saturday as well. We'll be joined by land defenders as well, Indigenous land defenders, and by again, a big group like this. And keep in mind those core demands when you're speaking to your elected officials, when you're speaking on any platform that you have. It's keeping fossil fuels in the ground. It's stopping the production, stopping the expansion. It's respecting Indigenous sovereignty on this land. It's making sure that our targets are aligned with the science. Right? It's not a crazy ask. I mean, just do what the scientists tell you. And it's asking that the transition away from fossil fuels is fair for communities, workers. That's it. That's all we're asking for. Thank you very much for giving me this space.
Yes, we're going to have a chat with Allie, and then we will thank you very much. Love it.
Testing, okay.
You're gonna have to do it with me or I'll be very alone.
We're with you.
You're gonna say climate justice. When do we want it? Now. And then I'll say if we don't get it, we'll shut it down. That is, shut the system down. Alright? Okay.
What do we want?
Climate justice!
When do we want it?
Now!
What do we want?
Climate justice!
When do we want it?
Now!
What do we want?
Climate justice!
When do we want it?
Now!
And if we don't get it, we'll shut it down. If we don't get it,
We shut it down!
if we don't get it,
We shut it down!
if we don't get it,
Shut it down!
Okay, it's now my pleasure to introduce a 15-year-old speaker who I've known now since she was 11 years old, and that she has been working for 4 years already, starting at the age of 11, to achieve a livable climate for the future. She's been speaking up really bravely on the lawns at Queen's Park, and she's even joined the court case against the province of Ontario for actual climate targets that represent a safe future for people who are young now. So that's all. And after that, we'll wrap it up and go to Mr. Field's office. Zoe.
worried about the climate crisis. When I was little, I used to make a wish before blowing out the candles on my birthday cake, and I would wish that the climate crisis would be solved. Now, I am older, and I know that a birthday wish is not going to solve this crisis. It is going to require people working together, and it is going to require governments to listen to the people. Here in Toronto, so many people already working together on the climate crisis and on the interconnected issues of racism and inequality. People are organizing in their neighborhoods, in their schools, and in community groups. We are planting food, we are campaigning for better transit, we are supporting migrant rights, and we are standing up against racism. We are doing our part. But our government leaders are not listening. Are they listening to us? It seems to me that Mr. Trudeau and the leaders at COP are pretending to listen, saying nice words like sustainability, or reconciliation, or net zero by 2050. But do they mean them? They say sustainability, but old growth forests continue to be cut down and industries continue to pollute the air, the lakes, and the forests. And they say sustainability, but too many people still don't have access to food and housing, and too many First Nations don't have access to clean drinking water, while billionaires grow richer and richer every day. This is not sustainable. And they say reconciliation, but Indigenous leaders continue to be arrested and jailed by the RCMP for defending their ancestral lands and waters against the construction of pipelines. This is not reconciliation. And they say net zero by 2050, but Canada's emissions continue to rise. Right now, according to Climate Action Tracker, Canada's emissions are in line with a catastrophic 4 degrees of warning. Net zero by 2050 is a delay tactic. Net zero by 2050 is too late. The crucial decade for action is this decade. And the goal we must focus on is not net zero by 2050, although that is important, but the Paris goal of limiting warming to 1.5 degrees Celsius. That is the goal we must strive for if we are to avoid the worst extremes of climate breakdown. That is the goal if we are going to secure a livable future for all. And that goal is still maybe possible, but to reach it, we need at least to have emissions by 2030. In other words, to readers at COP26, are you listening? Listen to us when we say, this is about science.